Standing at the top of your mat, nice and stable, strong. Inhale, arms up above the head, shoulders down, goes up between the hands. Exhale as you swan dive into forward fold, dropping the head. Inhale, flattening the spine. Exhale, you can jump back into plank or step back and hold this plank. Now, check your alignment. I don't want these hips to fall down. So really engaging through the core, the transverse abdominis, holding everything tight and rolling the shoulders back away from the ears and flattening those shoulder blades against the back. So not pulling up like that, flat. If you feel that you're starting to fatigue and your hips are starting to drop, you just come down to your knees and you rest. Otherwise, hold that plank. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale, pushing back into downward facing dog. So this is your rest pose. So really stretch out the body, reconnect to that breath. Try and get those heels down towards the ground. Remember, that's not all that important in the stretch. What I want you to do is push the mat away from you with your hands, flatten out those shoulder blades, and get those hips as high as you can, pointing up towards the ceiling. Let the heels come down by themselves once everything else has found its correct alignment. Inhale. As you flow forward into plank again. Inhale, exhale, pushing back into downward facing dog. Breathe. Remember, these fingers are nice and wide. We're pushing down with the thumb and the index finger. We're rolling the lower arms inward and the upper arms outward. So you're really setting your shoulders in their sockets, and at the same time you're flattening the shoulder blades against the back. So these shoulders are not hunched up towards the ears. And the head just hangs down. Inhale, flying forward into plank. Exhale, breathe. Inhale. This time, exhale as you come down, chaturanga, keeping those elbows close to the body. Release. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, rolling back into downward facing dog. You can bring the gaze up to the top of the mat, and you can either jump your feet in between your hands or walk them. Inhale as you flatten that spine. Exhale as you fold. Squeeze those glutes as you inhale to standing, arms above the head. Exhaling in prayer. Very nice. Inhale, arms above the head, shoulders down. Goes up between the hands. Exhale. Floating forward to Uttanasana, dropping the head. Inhale, flattening the spine. Exhale, step or jump back into plank. And again, holding here for 5 breaths. And we're going to come down into dolphin plank now. Now, the idea when you do this is not to rock the body side to side. So really creating that stability through the core and coming down onto the right forearm and then the left. And rolling those shoulders back, breathe. I'm going to come up into our hands again. Again, preparing yourself, holding everything nice and tight. One hand and then the other. Breathe. Deep breath in. Exhale, chaturanga, keeping those elbows in. Release. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale into downward dog. Gaze up between the hands. Zipping or jumping up to the top of the mat. Inhale, flattening the spine. Exhale, fold. Squeeze the glutes as you inhale to standing. Exhaling in prayer. Very nice. Inhale, arms up, gaze up between the hands. Exhale, forward fold. Release. Inhale, flatten that spine. Exhale, stepping or jumping back into plank. So now we're going to do shoulder taps. So we're going to tap our opposite shoulder with a hand. Again, this is about stabilizing. So trying not to rock the body too much. So engage that core and tap left, right. Push back into downward dog. Breathe. Inhale, flying forward into plank, and let's repeat that. Remember, you can step your feet a little bit wider to create more stability, if that makes it easier. Inhale, and exhale back to downward facing dog. Bear in mind, this is your practice. At any point, you can just come down into child's pose and rest. Inhale, flying forward into plank. Widen those feet if you need to. Inhale, exhale this time, chaturanga. Release, inhale. Upward dog or cobra, exhale. Down dog. And step or jump up to the top of the mat. Inhale, flattening that spine. Exhale, fold, squeeze the glutes. Inhale to standing. Exhaling in prayer. Inhale, arms up above the head, shoulders down, gaze up between the hands. Exhale, forward fold. Drop the head, release. Inhale, flatten that spine. Exhale, stepping or jumping back into plank. Chaturanga, keeping those elbows grazing the ribs. Release. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale into downward facing dog. And now we're going to come down onto the mat. So you can jump your feet forward if you like, or walk them forward and come down, sitting on the mat. So come down onto your back, first of all, flat on the ground. So you can move those feet slightly closer in towards the body and bringing your hands down. So lying here on your back, you're wanting to activate this transverse abdominis. So just remind yourself, place those 2 fingers just inside your hip bones and engage that lovely deep muscle and feel it pushing against your fingers. And now I want you to slightly rotate your pelvis. It's a very tiny movement so that you're pressing your lower back into the ground and you are stabilizing your entire body with this core working and being active. So arms down on the ground, keeping all of this tight and engaged. You're going to pick your shoulders just up off the ground. Your neck is nice and neutral. Keep your chin tucked in slightly. And then you're going to move your hands towards your heels. So it's not important that you touch the heels. You can, but I don't want you reaching just so that you can touch, because then you're going to start rocking your pelvis. So it's quite a small movement, and you're just basically engaging your obliques on the side of your body to create that movement side to side. So the movement is from the hips up and the hips stay stabilized. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale and exhale, come back down onto the mat. And you can relax your core. Again, pressing down with that lower back, engaging that transverse abdominis, lifting the shoulder blades just up off the ground. And again, you can have your palms facing down or your palms facing towards each other. That's not really all that important. You're just wanting to focus on using those obliques. Inhale and exhale. Come back down to the mat and rest. You will often see people actually doing this exercise in the gym, and it's quite often a very big movement that they make, and they sort of swing the body left and right. That can be less effective a movement because they are neglecting to stabilize. A lot of times, an exercise doesn't necessitate a huge amount of movement. That movement is focused on the muscle that you're wanting to work, and you're stabilizing the body. It's far more effective than kind of swinging around to the left and right. So again, let's engage everything, stabilize the body before we come into any movement. Make sure it's safe, stable. Lift the shoulders up off the ground. Inhale and exhale. Come back down onto the mat. Now with your palms flat on the mat, you can actually bring them slightly underneath your glutes if you like. Roll those shoulders nice and flat. And you're going to bring both legs up. I think you're going to lose the top of my feet, but that's okay. Your feet are very strongly flexed, so those toes are pointing down towards you so that these legs are nice and active. Now remember the stabilizing motion of the transverse abdominis, so that belt of muscle that runs around the body like a corset. Engaging that, keeping the torso safe, and pressing that lower back down towards the mat. We're going to do single leg raises. So inhaling, and as you exhale, lower this right leg down towards the ground and let it just hover there. Inhale, bringing it back up. Exhaling, left leg down. Keep these feet both flexed and the legs straight. Inhale back up. Breathe. If you feel your lower back fatiguing because your core is fatiguing, just rest. So bend the legs, bring the feet down to the ground. Bring the feet down to the mat. And now you can grab the back of your thigh to come up to a sitting position, just to assist you. If you would like to repeat this entire sequence of movements, bring your legs into cross-legged position, forward onto the hands, and then move through your vinyasa flow. Or alternatively, move into a different sequence altogether, or stay on your back and come into a lovely twist and shavasana. Enjoy.